been told that he would be reaching out to UDP. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was told that.
Oh, and you know, that's gonna be a clear one, huh?
Yeah, it would be good.
But let him not even expect to be leading the party, even if there is coalition. I don't.
Adama bu ne yelloo na ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni du indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wér-gu-yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxul ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gat granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sellate óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu
Novelas no gunge ci sama kër gi ba xet ji dee duma toog duma tàyyi man daal de moo koy wëri parfum Novelas suñ ko bis ki kër gi xet gi day neex parfum Novelas mooy waaja lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex forest bi dafa neex saxaaba bi dafa neex lii mooy parfum Novelas parfum bi dafa neex Almadina boo ko pompe xet gi day gunguni lii mooy parfum Novelas baxuur bi dafa neex brise marine bi ak yëpp a neex ak Novelas féppay xeeñ neex.
Hello viewers, welcome to our daily This Morning program here on QTV. I am Aliou Cisse, sitting in for your regular host, Genital Sonko, and I'm here with my co-host, Ibrahim Balde.
Yeah, Aliou, it's good to be back here again and seeing you. We are back again on another edition, and I believe it's going to be very interactive again because the platform is about to go down. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. That's Ibrahim Abande, my co-host. Well, as usual, I will just take you through some of the items for today. I mean, we have the African proverb that we are going to look at. We're also going to have the newspaper review. We'll be joined by our news editor, Ade Drame. And also for the first time, we'll be having a new segment called You and the Law. And we shall be joined by a representative from the Ministry of Justice, and we're talking about sexual and gender-based violence. And of course, inspirational stories. Well, you've all heard about the story of Mariama S. Jallo, the air traffic controller. She will also be joining us on this program today to discuss about her journey. And of course, sports news. I mean, Ade Drame will rejoin us again to take us through the stories making sports around the world. And then don't forget, this is QTV, your this morning program. Balde, I mean, our African proverb today is hunger is felt by a slave and hunger is felt by a king.
Definitely. Something very interesting. You know, African proverbs, you got to learn something. There is always a moral lesson when it comes to African proverbs. Hunger is felt by a slave and hunger is felt by a king. This is showing you that we are human. We all have the same feelings, you understand? At some point, we all need each other. We all need certain things. No matter what position you are, at some point, you need people in your life to help you grow, to help you move. I mean, that's how I can relate to this. If you look at the proverb itself, it's telling you a lot. You can relate a whole lot of stuff. But just to put everything into a nutshell, it's telling you that at some point in our life, we all need certain help. We all need certain things in our life, Ali.
Well, for me, it means despite even people with different, you know, differences, biggest differences rather, still have some similarities. Despite being a king and a slave, there is something that's really very similar here, which is hunger.
Absolutely. Well, we all, as far as we are human. No man is an island, Mr. Ade.
Yes, there are certain things that no human being can escape. And hearing the proverb reminds me of the story of the slave who dared argue with the king. And, you know, as they were about to punish him, they said, you know, why did you dare argue with the king? He said, yes, he might be the king and I might be a slave. He said, but there's one thing, I can't cheat death, neither can he. And that rams it home to you that you might be the greatest king who has ever lived, but there are things you do not have control over.
Exactly.
You don't have control over hunger until, of course, as a king, you can get people to feed you, but you don't have control over death. The king will die, the slave will die.
Let's talk about call of nature.
As well, as well. You know, that is common to everybody.
Exactly.
If you're fit and healthy, absolutely.
Interesting, Aliu. And I have a particular quote that I want to share with us. I know it's not part of the program, but this is from a young Pan-Africanist, Usman Toure. That dream I never want to lose. That dream I will keep pursuing. That dream until that one day when that dream will be every African's common song. And that dream is the dream to liberate Africa. It's a young Pan-African called Usman Toure. He's doing very good.
Is this the guy who's in Rwanda?
Yes,
right.
The guy that they offered to go study somewhere in America,
yes.
And he chose Rwanda.
He came here to be interviewed by Jenaba Sonko, and I said to him, there are universities as good as the one in Rwanda in Cape Verde, and Cape Verde is only 500 kilometers from here. Why didn't you go there? And if he's watching, he can confirm that he and I had this conversation.
Quite interesting there. I mean, quite interesting proverb, African proverb for today. I mean, we'll just go for a short break, and when we return, like I said, Ade Drame, our news editor, is here to take us through the headlines, making on the headlines on the newspapers rather. But don't forget, I mean, for all your equipment for water filter and purifier, you can visit One Stop Water Solutions at the Sukuta Jabang Highway. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, we go straight into the newspaper review.
We'll be back.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower, and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information. Cherry.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're watching this morning program here on QTV. I am Aleo Sisi, and we now go straight to the newspaper review. And Balde, you have in the Fourier newspaper there.
This is the Fourier newspaper. Let's take a look at the headline. Okay. National Human Rights Commission investigating allegations of assault on Brikama bar drug suspect. Gambian women freed over high cost of food items in the markets. Mother looking for missing son. Many kids are getting missing these days. VP Toure assures government's commitment to security sector reform. And Aliou, that's what we have today on Fourier.
Well, on the Standard newspaper, I mean, we have the APRC spokesman, Musa Amolnyasi, defense NPP coalition. And of course, Kamiam sends about 100 staff home after suspension.
Whoa.
While fire destroys house in Brikama, Nyambai. Man caught with arms at my Fati's house, arraigned. Like Mr. Ade will say, some people say arrange.
I wanted to say arrange. It is arrange.
So, those are the major headlines on the Standard newspaper this morning, Mr. Ade. But Mr. Ade, let's start with the Standard. I mean, we've had the APRC spokesman, Amolnyasi, also joining in defending the decision by his party to form an alliance with the NPP.
Sure.
What's your take on this move by the spokesman to also come out to defend this move? I mean, we have seen some people are against it, even in the party itself, the APRC itself.
Yes, I mean, there's been comment on it, and so it's not unusual for the spokesman to come out and add his voice to that comment, because I think they can't remain silent. We all watched the announcement September 4th, I think it was, when the announcement was made. Fabakary Tombong Jatta, and since then people have commented, including myself. I mean, I wrote an article for the BBC about it, and so it's not unusual for him to come out and defend it, because they would expect, and I think before they took the decision, they would have weighed it up and say, you know, this is quite a momentous decision that we're about to take. We're likely to get both support and criticism, and whichever we get, we should come out and defend it. I think the major criticism that still resonates is that nobody outside of those who signed it has seen the MOU, so people don't know what's in it.
Well, I had a chat with few people regarding that, because this has to do with affairs of our country. So I feel very interested. So I spoke to few people, and what they're saying is they want to hear it from Jammeh. Maybe Jammeh send a voice message or call or do something like that, so that they can all believe this is a genuine coalition.
I think you can't have that, because either the party can function in his absence, or it cannot. It cannot be that every major decision they have to make, they have to hear from him. I mean, after all, since he went into exile, the party has carried on, and it has retained a lot of its membership. It hasn't dissolved. It's still a legitimate and illegally registered party. I don't think they have to wait for to hear the word from him. I can understand why people might say that, because Fabakary keeps referring to himself as the interim leader. So he's telling people he's not the leader. And I think, so for those who say that, they need to hear from Jammeh. Maybe that is why they say that. Yeah.
And just to quote what he said, I mean, and I quote, he said, "We are not expecting Jammeh's call or comments about the alliance before the election, because it is not necessary, and to say that Jammeh will release an audio to go against the alliance is ridiculous. If Jammeh wishes to discuss politics, I am sure he will contact Fabakary Tombong Jatta."
Well, there you are. So I hadn't even read that bit. but yeah, I don't think it needs to wait for that.
But there are parties in this country that people associate to one person.
Particular individual.
And that is going to cause a lot of problems. Even if you want to move to a party, it's difficult for you because people, the notion that they have is this party belongs to this person.
And I think you're right, more so than in most countries that I'm aware of. Sierra Leone, for example, APC and SLPP are the two main parties, but nobody ever says, oh, this is the party of Madabio, or this is the party of Samsumano or Anes Bai Koroma. Although in the APC's case, Anes Bai Koroma, he's kind of made himself president for life, even after he's no longer able to contest, and that's been a source of division. They even took him to court over it. You know, the party is divided over that. But since I came to the Gambia, I hear people referring to so-and-so's party, so-and-so, an individual's party, as if that so that kind of politics, and we were discussing this before we came on air, the kind of politics of personality is too strong here. We need to shed that. A party needs to stand on its own and not be seen as a thing belonging to an individual.
Exactly. So
and for some also, there's the fear that the President Barrow in this case might not respect this agreement.
The thing is, with agreements, you can never tell, because circumstances might come in that might force him not to be able to, you know, do certain things that he may have promised, you know, in the agreement. So one can never tell. One can never tell. Agreements, you know, it's like politicians go to the polls and they make promises. Sometimes when they can't fulfill the promises, it's not because they're lying or they're cheating or whatever. Circumstances just don't allow it to happen. If somebody says, I'm going to provide school meals for everybody from primary school right through to university, and then when you become president, you realize that the fund's not there. It's not that you lied, but you weren't able to see what the situation was financially, or, you know, the country's fiscal position for it to be.
Well, sometimes you might break some promises due to one or two reasons.
It happens. What
happened? If I put you on a particular position, I mean, you have to follow the rules and the regulations.
Sure.
You cannot be abusing office. So certain things are there. Some promises and agreements are broken because of certain reasons.
It can happen.
Well, and for Nyasi, I mean, he doesn't believe that Barrow is going to betray the agreement. Like he said, let me quote once again, he said, I have not seen anything in him that tells me he is going to betray us, and I have not seen anyone he betrayed. In fact, President Barrow has fulfilled all our demands so far, which include returning the party's vehicles. So we cannot say he's a betrayer when he has not betrayed us.
There you are. I think that closes that particular argument, really. I mean, it's, you know, time will tell. Time will tell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's now move on to Kamiam, Mr. Ade.
Yeah.
About 100 staff.
You know, I remember many years ago, 15 years ago, when I was coming here, that company, GSM company, was quite big and quite popular. And they had lots of initiatives actually to get subscribers. But I think it's been known for a long time now that the company's been going through some sort of problems. Nowadays, you ask somebody for their phone number, it's very, very rare that the first number they will give you as their number would be a Comium number. And I say the first number because, as we featured on a topic here a while ago, Gambia has one of the highest rates of phones to people of anywhere in the world. You know, average of, you know, 2 to 3 phones per person. You know, smartphones, and that's just smartphones, never mind the kind of old, not so smartphones. So the company's been going through problems. There have been rumors and so on. And of course today, later today, Pura will be holding a press, in fact, I think as we're sitting here, it's on now, just to apprise the public of exactly what is happening with the company and why they have taken the decision to suspend the license. It's not that it's not been withdrawn or revoked. I believe it's just suspended. Now
let's talk about the 100 staff that have been sent home. What next for these people?
Well, that's unquantifiable because I think until we hear from Pura, we don't know how long the suspension is or how or whether it will turn out to be a permanent thing. And so you can't tell. But this happens. You know, companies can go bust or go out of business and staff get laid off. And so this might be the case that they might be away for a while, but if the company gets its license back, then of course those staff will be brought back. So that can happen.
What is the lesson to learn from this as far as Pura is concerned?
Well, for Pura, I think they've had warnings that they've issued to Comium before, and it shows that as a regulator they have teeth. that there are decisions that they can take, that they're not just threatening. You know, like in England, the joke is that, you know, I'll shout stop, and if you don't stop, I'll shout stop again, rather than do something. But this case, they appear to have done something, and this is why they're taking the time to explain to the public what they've done.
I believe the corruption level might be reduced if authorities happen to take the right steps.
You mean across the board?
Exactly. Not only Comium, but also in the country. You understand? Certain things you need to put the right measures. You need to put the right thing to do to eradicate such behavior.
It's true, because, you know, as far as I'm aware, the Gambia doesn't yet have an anti-corruption commission, which is now the case in many countries. In fact, the anti-corruption commissioner in Sierra Leone has been winning awards around the world, for, although people are still criticizing him, saying he hasn't gone over after, rather, any big fish. But I think, you know, there are lots of sectors here where I hear people casually say, oh, I had to bribe to get this done. And it disgusts me, really. And the reason it goes on is because people don't report, because they've got nowhere to report. And the people who work in these places know that if you don't pay them, you don't get the particular service that you want. And it becomes part of the culture, and that's wrong. So you're right. If you had organizations that could take decisions, sanction people, jail them, trust me, it would stop. But until that happens, it will carry on.
Definitely.
Very unfortunate there. Yeah. And now, like I said, man caught with arms at my Fati's house arraigned at the Kanifing Magistrate Court.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the rules are about ownership of arms in this country, and you would imagine this person has been arraigned because they had these arms illegally. They weren't entitled, they didn't have a license, because you could have arms, but you might have a license, as has happened in other cases where people have been arrested and eventually released because it was found that they had a license to carry or keep arms. So I think until it comes to court, I think it's difficult, because we don't know what the person is going to.
Right now, according to the standard, he is charged with 3 counts: felony, going armed in public, and criminal trespassing.
Trespass. So, you know, you don't get charged with criminal trespass unless they think you are about to do something illegal. And so, as I say, it will be interesting. Those are the charges. But, you know, like everything else, you know, when I was a law student before I dropped out, they used to give us one side of a case and then say, can you give a verdict? And then you give a verdict because you see the evidence is so strong. And then the lecturer says, interesting. Okay, well, here's the defense. You hadn't even considered the defense.
Interesting.
And then when you consider the defense, and then they say to you, well, will you change your verdict now? You said, yes, because I've heard the other side of the story. So I never take these things for granted, that it's an open and shut case.
Yeah, because it involves a lot. I mean, this case, before you make any decision, you have to go through it. It's a very sensitive one.
Sure, indeed. Yeah.
Well, but maybe let's give us the final story on the FORIA.
Yes, let's take a look at this. National Human Rights Commission investigating allegations of assault on Brikama drug suspect, Mr. Ade.
You know, here in Africa, people get, not just in Africa, you know, people get arrested and you know, they're suspected of something, and then people beat them up as if they've already been proven guilty. And I paused because when I started saying here in Africa, because I know of an incident in England where somebody was accused of rape, and he happened to be somebody I knew, and he called me and I went to the police station, and the police had beaten him up. In fact, it turned out that the allegation was false against him, and they ended up apologizing to him, but they'd already beaten him up. You know, so you know, so it can happen that people get accused of things and people think that means they're guilty. It doesn't mean you're guilty.
Well, I think our security officers too, most of them don't know how to approach. I think they should work on that. Although they are doing a very good job, but approach is very important. You cannot just jump from your car and you start hitting someone because you suspect him carrying something.
Now, I mean, we've covered stories on QTV News where the police have been trained in how to treat people who are suspects, how to treat people who are in custody, and so on. It happens. And as I said, I don't think we think it's just a Gambian thing. It's or an African thing. It happens around the world. There's a kind of human thing where somebody is suspected of something, and then it's like you've already convicted them mentally before they've actually gone through the process. But let me end quickly by saying, if we're going to go on, I complained to Geneva Sonko. I said, the newspaper headlines, as a journalist, I started as a sports journalist. I said, but very rarely do you turn the newspapers over and read the headlines of the sports stories. So I hope that will happen in future.
Well, that has been tried. As someone who's coming from the newspaper, I mean, it has always been this. I mean,
when it comes to sports, Ali and Mr. Ade, well, for me, I rest my case.
We have one here, Scorpions back in action more. I mean, they are already in Morocco for a training camp.
And one of the reasons I wanted you to mention that is because
we have Sierra Leone there, and Sudan also is in Morocco for this Three-Nation
That's right.
training camp.
They will be playing Morocco's Chan team. Now, I saw somebody complaining on social media the other day saying this is, you know, like playing Morocco's B team, they can't be very good. Well, that person, I wrote to him, I said, you obviously did not watch the Chan, which Morocco won. Exactly. That is a very good team. That is a very good team. You underestimate them at your peril. And I wanted to mention that because I think it's a really good test. Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Morocco's Chan, Chan winning team that Scorpions are going to face, and it will give all the teams a sense of where they are ahead of AFCON, which we're all excited about. And as we keep saying, almost every country in ECOWAS, apart from 2, qualified. So. Yeah, really.
Well,
really
this is our year, Aliu.
And Sierra Leone is there, a huge delegation, 24-man officials.
Sierra Leone, it's caused a stir in Sierra Leone, and again, I'm glad you mentioned that because the organizers in Morocco had said each country could bring a maximum of 40 people. Sierra Leone has taken 53.
53? They are breaking the rules.
They've taken 30 players and 24 or 23 or 24 officials, which is ridiculous, really. And so there's been quite a sort of stink created about it, and people are criticizing them. So this is, you can't defend it. You know, they're just going there for a holiday.
Well, I was going through one of my colleagues' Facebook post yesterday, Faja Barry, in Sierra Leone, and then the president of the FA is trying to defend the move, saying anyone who's under delegation has a role to play. So.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you cannot justify almost as many officials as players. You cannot, and they're trying to defend it. You know, what if this was the kind of when there were COVID restrictions and you could only take a certain number of players? You would only have been able to take the head coach, deputy head coach, and the players. And those people would have stayed in Sierra Leone. So it's because those things have been relaxed now, people are abusing it, and this is a case. There's a letter from the secretary of the FA to the president, which has been posted in all the Sierra Leone newspapers. He's complained, and he's actually struck out the people he says should not be on that trip, about 14 of them. You know, but they've all gone.
They've all gone, I mean.
And finally, the under-20 female team is also wrapping up preparation for the return leg, Burkina Faso, after they lost 1-0 here in Banjul.
That's right. I think the headline says vengeance. I think they're looking for revenge, not vengeance. And yes, they lost 1-0, and it was a close game, and they squandered lots and lots of chances. And I still think they have a good chance because they put on a decent performance at in the home leg, really. And yeah, I'm hoping they can turn it around and come back with a victory. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. That's Mr. Adedrame, our news editor, who joined us to help us discuss some of the headlines on the newspapers, on the Standard and Foreign newspaper. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, we shall be joined by a representative of the Ministry of Justice, who will join us to discuss sexual and gender-based violence in our maiden edition of a new segment called You and the Law. We'll be back shortly.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world. Join the Gambia's fastest growing network and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial *335# to subscribe to QCell's 4G LTE service. There's no need to swap your SIM. QCell, Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're watching this morning program here on QTV. I am Aliou Cisse with my co-host Ibrahima Balde. I am stepping in for your regular host, Jainaba Sonko. Well, next on the program, we are now joined by Mariatu Faiba, a state counsel from the Ministry of Justice, who has joined us to discuss sexual and gender-based violence. We have a new segment called You and the Law. Yeah. But Mariatu, we understand a study has shown that most of the survivors of sexual and gender-based violence are women, while perpetrators are men. However, there are also reports of men who suffer sexual gender-based violence in this country. But to start with, what is sexual and gender-based violence?
Thank you very much. Before I say anything, Assalamu alaikum to all the viewers. It's really nice to have me. As we all know, sexual and gender-based violence has become a global phenomenon. And it is about time that we speak about it and we are not silent about it because it affects both men and women, like you rightfully said. So sexual and gender-based violence basically is when a perpetrator acts in such a manner that he, for lack of a better word, that he goes against the will of a person. And this is usually the case when it comes to women, because it is believed in our societies that women are fragile, women are inferior to men, and children. So at the Ministry of Justice, as we know, this is the gateway to gain justice in the Gambia. We have a sexual and gender-based violence unit, which deals with such cases, but the cases do not start from the ministry. It starts from the police. But before it gets to the police, the society in general are supposed to look out for each other. Because in as much as we want justice to be served, we cannot go into the society and ask people to come out and speak. So that is why we always emphasize and talk to the masses so that they can report matters, so that they're not silent about issues that are affecting both women and children. And to be honest with you, this is we're not trying to be gender biased or anything. It mostly affects women. And like I said, it is because women to be honest, we are a little bit more fragile. We are kind of like a bait for perpetrators. So the only way we can start fighting this menace and hopefully get a win is when we start speaking out, when we report matters, and we try to help the judicial system also, because they cannot do it all.
Okay.
Talking about the judicial system, I want to know, how does the law handles cases or matters relating to Sdbv?
Yes, like I said earlier, the justice system has a way in which we do our cases. When the matter is reported at the police station, a file is being opened and an investigation commences. So this investigation is done at the police level. So considering in which jurisdiction this happened, the police will go into town, maybe get witnesses, ask questions, write down statements, and then this is what is compiled. When it is compiled, the investigation, when it is thorough, it is brought to the Ministry of Justice, and we write an opinion. So in this opinion, we state whether there is enough evidence for the matter to proceed to court. Because as you know, the law deals with evidence. You cannot come and say someone allegedly raped you, and there is no evidence to show that anything like that has happened. So this is why when the matter comes to the office, a state counsel is given the file, usually someone from the gender-based violence unit, and then when the person goes through the file and sees that there is enough sufficient evidence, the file is being approved. When it is approved, and information is being drafted, and the matter is taken to the court, considering the jurisdiction as well. So that is the court that it is taken to. When it is taken there, we get witnesses to come to court, and when witnesses come, we proceed with the matter.
Okay, let's talk about the protection process. How does the state protect its people from this act?
Okay, thank you very much. That is such a good question, because it is about time we talk about the law as well. We know that the Constitution is the ground norm of the land. We know that it is our Holy Bible, it is our Quran, and any law that is contrary to that is null and void. So the Constitution in itself has certain provisions that protect the citizenry. But we have the Domestic Violence Act, we have the Sexual Offences Act, we have the Children's Act, we have the Trafficking in Persons Act. All these are geared towards protecting the people, the Gambian people, and the people in its surrounding. So these acts that are being established is not just for paper. This is what the lawyers use during prosecution. This is how we understand, how we show that the citizens matter, and this is how we protect them in a way. So for instance, let's say in instances where there is a child that is being molested, and this has become very rampant. Let's say out of 10 cases that deals with rape, let's say 8 of them are underage, starting from 3 months old onwards. So it has gotten to a time when we cannot be shy about speaking out, and we have to make the people understand that there are laws that are in place, and these laws are not for me and you only. These laws are for everyone who is within this country, and we are not giving any form, any leeway for any perpetrator to feel like they can do whatever they want and get away with it.
I have seen a person who said to me, my uncle raped me, and I cannot do anything about this because if I do, it's going to break our family.
You see,
is there any sensitization going on right now?
There is sensitization that is going on, and this is not just at the government level. CSOs are doing a phenomenal job because they are going into the grassroots. There are radio programs. There was a time we were here at QTV and we spoke at the GGN program. We go to all kinds of radio stations and we talk and we talk and we go into the communities. But this is not enough. It is time. Not just us should do the sensitization. I talk to you as you're my brother. I talk to you. You're someone's niece or nephew. We talk to each other because if it affects me today, it might affect you tomorrow in some way, in some form, whether it's close or whether it's far. So the moment we realize that SGBV is not a gender thing, because so many people would say, jigeni, and soft legi, everything women. You know, this affects our children, this affects our sisters, it affects our brothers, it affects us generally, because you're a man, but when something is done to your child, you go crazy, because you're supposed to protect that child. When a child goes to school, not so. You're supposed to feel like, oh, my child is at school, so I have nothing to worry about. But the problem is, when your child leaves the house, is your child going to get safely to school? When your child gets to school, is your child going to be protected by the people who are supposed to protect them? So we start talking to our children. So the Maslaha syndrome is our major concern in this country. Because if I am in your neighborhood for 2-3 years, you'll become automatically my cousin. And we start calling each other family members. So if something like this, my child is being raped or is being molested, or there's female genital mutilation be taking place in a certain household, you feel the need not to report, because you feel you'll be a snitch of some sort. But you're protecting not just that child, but you're protecting your children as well, because you don't know the next person.
At some point, people fear, Ali, the way the society is going to look at you. That's the problem we have.
The stigma.
The stigma that comes with it. And this is what I have been saying. In as much as there is, people will talk. It doesn't matter what it is. It is ingrained in us. Whatever happens, we talk about it. We have a case where there is a child that is being molested by a member of his family, and the child got pregnant. And instead of that child being taken care of, instead of the people in the neighborhood going to the child and rendering support, we have men in their grandmothers coming to that family to say, look, kini makla, te amnasit, you're not supposed to disgrace him like this. Suturako. So at what point are we going to stop this maslaha? Because it's ruining us as a nation. So in as much as the law is there, and is there to safeguard and protect every member of the Gambian society, we as a nation have to speak out, and we have to be very radical about what we say. We have to shut our eyes and stop the whole I don't want to be a snitch conversation that has been going. And we seriously need to talk to our brothers, you and every other man in the society, because the moment we start encouraging men and saying, it is because of what that woman is wearing, it is because solkati changali, of course
excuses are given, and
that is not an excuse.
In most cases the survivor is even blamed.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. In fact, it's not in most cases, it's in all cases.
Okay.
Seriously, it is something that has to be talked about. And the fortunate thing is, at the Ministry of Justice, at the Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Unit, it comprises of young people like myself, probably younger people like myself. We have lawyers who maybe are 1 year, 2 years post-call. And they're so passionate about this, because every day on your desk you see children, and you think about your sisters, you think about someone close to you. Come on, a 6-month-old being raped. I don't, like, it takes, I don't know, you...
Well, married beyond rape, I mean, we know it is very common. Personally, I have did almost 2 stories in 2011 about rape, where an uncle also did the same, and then he fled the country. But beyond rape and FGM, what are the other forms of gender-based violence? So
there's child marriage as well. These other forms of gender-based violence are so serious that we hardly ever delve into these aspects. You know, female genital mutilations, if I am from a certain tribe and this is something that we do, my mother or my grandmother doesn't want me to come on TV and talk about it.
It's quite controversial.
You understand? It's so controversial, but it's about time as well that we talk about it. All forms of gender-based violence should not happen. We are supposed to work on not just rape, but child marriage, other forms of sexual offenses. And you know, domestic violence has the economic part of it. You know, women who go to work from they're in the farms or they're doing any sort of work, and at the end of the day, their husband say, "Man mala mom." So your money is mine. I give you permission to work, so you don't have the right to hold on to your money. And that's some sort of economical violence. So we also have the physical violence, where there are women who are being battered and they're being beaten, and when they go back into their families, they tell them, and then at the end of the day, they lose their lives. And the men come to the ditch and be all, you know what I mean? So, like, there are so many different sorts of violence, and I cannot emphasize how important it is to talk about it. And that is why I felt like this was such a great avenue to really speak out you know, when we talk about you and the law, we are not just saying sections of the Constitution. We need to talk about things that affect us really as a people, and it is only in that way that we can make the impact that we desire.
Well, it's a big concern that requires all hands to be on deck to help address this issue. But then, what is the first point of contact for people who want to report such cases?
Yeah, the first point of contact is the police. You know, we have to make the police our friends. There are trainings that have been done for the police officers so as to help them receive complaints like this. Because in as much as they also want to do the work, our work is kind of being affected by how we perceive things as a society. I think we have left the era where you go to the police station and the police is like, so jikar ak jabar sa jikar door la rus ma yon, leave my police station. You know what I mean? So it's about time the police also, they understand that you are like another safeguard, the first point of call. And to be honest with you, so far we have had very positive reviews where when we go into the rural areas, people go to the police station and they lay complaints, and these cases are being opened, these files are being opened, and it gets to the Ministry of Justice. So that is the first point of contact. But when you do get to the police station, I want to plead with the society. The law deals with evidence. You cannot, your child cannot maybe be raped, or there's some sort of violence that took place, and you get to the police station, you have already eradicated every sort of evidence. If there's blood stains you have taken a shower, you look very good, and you come to the police station. How do we help you?
Okay.
We cannot go to court and say, I swear that this person is being raped. We need evidence to show that certain things happen. We need witnesses. So another constraint usually is that people don't really, people withdraw these cases. It gets to the police start the investigation, it gets to the ministry, and then next minute we see a family member come and there's an affidavit and they're saying, oh, we want to withdraw the matter, we found out the key mamam akman suma mam yobo kande yabai, stuff like that.
In this case, can someone withdraw a case?
No, you cannot. So long as it has reached the Ministry of Justice. Remember, you as a person, you live within the state, and it is incumbent on the state to protect you. So when the matter gets to the Ministry of Justice, you cannot go and plead that this matter be. We cannot do that. So it has to go. The only problem is when we tell you that we cannot do anything to help you, you make sure that all the witnesses don't appear in court. So how do you hope to gain justice when we don't have witnesses coming to testify?
I have a very important question. Do you also receive complaints from men?
We do.
Oh, really?
I see your smile, so it's like you already believe.
They should also stand for the men.
So
yes, we do. Actually, it's the Ministry of Justice. It's not the Ministry of only women. It is a ministry for everybody. So we receive complaints from both men and women, and then we treat each case as we should. There is no gender bias here. There is nothing like, oh, Gurla, he's lying, because it does happen.
Yeah, and
it does happen.
Wow.
You know, there are instances when women beat their husbands. So maybe it sounds funny,
well,
but it does happen.
I hope you're not a victim.
But it does happen. So any matter that comes to the office, really, we treat it as we should. There is nothing like he's a man, he should buckle up and be a man. There's nothing like that. So
is there any hotline, perhaps a number that somebody can call if you have a case?
Yes, we have.
Perhaps you might have someone who lives very far and would like to report such a case.
Yes.
And then
The last time we were here, it was such a great move because we had so many calls. We have 5200038. And this is the chairperson of the unit's number, and you can call. We have. The last time we were here, I think we have had more than 10 calls when people would just call and be like, it's not like I want to report anybody. I am just happy that what happened to me will not happen to someone else. So that is the impact that we want to make. Maybe you might feel like there is nothing we can do, but even if we don't help you, we might help someone else. And I think that is where it starts, one step at a time.
Let's do this. What happens when there is conflict of interest while a prosecutor is handling such case?
Okay, so both the prosecution and the judge or magistrate, because we have a code of conduct and we're supposed to be ethical as lawyers. So when you find out that halfway into your case, you realize that probably the accused person is probably related to your husband or is a family member. You're just human. You tend to be a little bit biased or conflicted. So it is just normal and ordinary when in these cases you just have to give the case to someone else.
You have to recuse
you
yourself.
know, recuse yourself from the matter and give it to someone else. And this is not just when it comes to persecution. This is both on the side of the persecutor and on the side of the judge or magistrate.
Well, can you repeat that number again that you said for people who want to call?
Yes, 520038.
Well, if you have a case that you want to report, you can just call 52038.
Yeah.
5200038.
Yes.
5200038.
Interesting.
That's the number to call if you have any case to report. Balde, if your wife beats you at home, you can just call Mariatu. Well, Mariatu, thank you so much for coming on this morning program. We quite appreciate your time, and I think this is quite very helpful for people who are watching this program to know how to go about addressing the issue of sexual and gender-based violence. But like you said, I mean, this is not a one-man thing. I mean, it requires all hands to be on deck, the media, the police, the Minister of Justice, every stakeholder, you know, so really join hands to ensure that they are able to address these societal menace. Thank you very much, Mariatu, once again for being on the program. Well, viewers, that was Mariatu Faiba from the Ministry of Justice, the State Council, who had joined us to discuss on sexual and gender-based violence. I mean, this is a new segment called You and the Law. It will be coming on this program, but thank you very much once again, Mariatu. We'll go for a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight into the inspirational stories.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, Q Money and Ria just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from Ria directly into your Q Money account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any Q Money agent across the country to receive your payment for free, or use the money immediately to buy credit, Q Power, and other Q Money services. It's fast, safe, and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply. Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information. Cherry. Join the Gambia's fastest growing network and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial *335# to subscribe to QCell's 4G LTE service. There's no need to swap your SIM. QCell, Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Novelas mi gunge ci sama kër gi ba xet di neex duma toog duma tàyyi man daal de moo koy wëri parfum novelas suñ ko bis ki kër gi xet gi day neex parfum novelas mooy waaja lii mooy parfum novelas parfum bi dafa neex forest bi dafa neex saxaar bari dafa neex lii mooy parfum novella parfum bi dafa neex almadina boo ko pompee xet gi day gunguni lii mooy parfum novella baxuur bi dafa neex brise marine bi ak yëpp a neex ak novellas féppay xeeñ neex.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're still watching this morning program. I am Aliou Cissé, sitting in for your regular host, Jenaba Sonko, with my co-host, Ibrahim Balde. Yeah. And we will now go straight into another segment of this program, the inspirational stories. Well, in today's segment, we are joined by Mariama S. Jallow, the Gambia's first female air traffic controller at the Banjul International Airport. Mariama Jallow is a 29-year-old and was born in Farafene in the North Bank region of this country. She attended nursery to junior school in Farafene before moving to Combos for her secondary school at SOS Haman Haina, where she started her worst in 2011. In September of the same year, the Farafene-born got admission to the University of the Gambia and attended BSc with a major in physics and minor in mathematics. She started working at the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority in 2012 on attachment at the Flight Safety Department, and in 2014, she was transferred to the control tower. She was an air traffic controller cadet from November of that year when she first got her appointment. Mariama, thank you so much for coming on this morning program.
Thank you, Aliou. Good morning, viewers. Thank you for having me.
Well, to start with, what inspires you to be an air traffic controller?
Okay. First of all, this air traffic control thing came when I was on attachment. That was in 2012. When I was there, that was when I saw people at the control tower, and they are all men. So I asked. Then they told me that this is a men domain. Oh. You understand? So by then, the then director, that's Abdullah Jame, called me in his office and asked me whether I can become the Gambia's first female air traffic controller. I am the type that like to break record. Oh. So when I went and did the research about this ATC job, I got interested in it. And then, correction, I got admitted in 2013, okay. November, not 2014. Okay. That was when I got my admission at the control tower as an air traffic controller cadet. By then, at first, we were 5 of us. 4 of them were men, and I was the lady. Then later, they brought another 4, making it 9. So 8 men and then a lady.
Mm. Interesting.
How was it like at the beginning? I mean, you said you are somebody who want to break.
Yeah.
Make that break, and of course, you are open to take up challenges.
Yes.
How was it like? How were you able to break through?
Okay. In the beginning, many people didn't have the hope in me because I had like women will come and run away. And then it's not like the women, they cannot do it, but because of people, because the same thing applies to me. There were people that would call me and said to me, we know that you will also run away one day. You understand? This is not for you, especially by then I did not have a child. I was married, but I didn't have a child by then. Okay. So they said to me, I know you will run away because women will come and run away and you will also run away. I said to myself, no, I am not the type. Mm. So it was challenging because the job itself is not easy. For a woman to become an air traffic controller is not easy. But with determination and focus and saying no to people that say you cannot do it, I think those were the things that kept me moving up until I reached where I am today. Mm. Because as a woman, you know women, we are very sensitive. As an air trafficker, that's the first thing you will kill in yourself as a woman, that sensitivity. Because if you are with men, you don't have to take everything personal. Some things you just have to let go. You understand? So, to tell you the truth, at the beginning, it was very tough. Okay, when I started, especially when I started the shift work, some will be like, okay, which man will allow you to go and shift with only men there? But to me, I am there to work. Me and my boss, we are there to work, nothing else. It's the job that brought us there. I think we should do that and then go home.
And maybe perhaps you also have a very understanding husband.
Yes.
In the name of Babukar Kamara.
Let's highlight, because this would not have happened without trainings. It's important. Take us through the training process.
Okay, when you start first, as an air traffic controller cadet, you have the ab initio training, that's the in-house training that they prepare you to go to the college. You will do that for, let's say, 2 years. It depends on what is available, because in our case, and then our previous boss, it was different. In our case, we were there. I started in 2013, then I was there till 2017. That was when we traveled first to Ghana. We were there for 6 months. So in the in-house training that we do, that is a plus to GCA, because that training prepare you for the course that you are going to do in the college when you go, because in the in-house training, the first thing they will build in you is the confidence, because you seated there as an air traffic controller. Once you hold the mic, there should be that authority, that confidence in you, because you are giving directions to aircraft. So you being there, when you are on the mic, you don't have to shake, because if you are talking to a pilot and you are like, okay, let's say B line 203 calling, okay, B line 203 Banjul. So that pilot itself will say that this contractor did not have confidence in him or herself. So it might bring some questioning. So that confidence is what they prepare you. That's for GCA. That's the in-house training that we do. So in our case, when we went to Ghana, even the instructors there, they were like, wow, you guys are great, because our performance were...
Because of the first training you had before you left?
Yes. That was the first training.
Yes, at the beginning you said, you described your work as not easy. Be specific. What are your roles as a traffic controller, air traffic controller?
Okay, an air traffic controller, you have objective. That is like, we have the objective of an air traffic controller. You provide separation between aircrafts on the, let's say, if I said the airspace, maybe you understand,
yeah,
like
I know
aircraft landing and taking off in Banjul.
Yeah.
Aircrafts and vehicles that are on that runway, you always make sure that you expedite. You don't have to be slow in doing your work. You expedite and maintain an orderly flow of traffic. Let's say you have 2 inbounds that are coming. So you need to calculate, you pre-plan yourself. Not like when I am there, bam, the aircraft call, I am this. You plan yourself, because you have your traffics that are there. Let's say I have a traffic that is coming to Banjul at 1100. Let's say around 1030, I have to prepare myself and make sure I have the weather, and then I will know what runway to give the aircraft that is coming, because in Banjul we have 2 runways. We have the 14 and 32. So based on the weather that is reported from the Met Office, that's where you will calculate from the anemometer, which we have there. You calculate which runway is favorable to the aircraft, because aircraft lands and take off into wind. So the wind that is reported from the Met, that's when you will know this aircraft is going to use runway 14 or is going to use runway 32.
So the success of the landing of the aircraft depends on you, the information that you give to the pilot.
Yes. And then we are trained non-radar in Banjul. We don't have a radar. We are trained non-radar. But most air traffic controllers also, they are trained non-radar. Because through the non-radar, that's when you also have this radar. So the non-radar, when the aircraft calls you, based on the, let's say, if I am seated there, an aircraft calls, the first thing I will ask is his radial and DMA. From his radial, I will know where it is coming from. It's not like we have it on the screen that this aircraft is coming. So that is why...
So once he calls you, you will know where is he coming from?
Based on his radial. And sometimes the country code, let's say it's coming from the north, you will know from the departure aerodrome. And then where it is going also from the let's say the flight plan, because departures also, they feel a flight plan prior for departing the aircraft.
Interesting. Can you imagine me sitting up there directing aeroplanes? I will send one to Banjul. land in Banjul.
No. The air traffic job, this air traffic job, myself, when I started there, it was like, I was in nursery school. You started first. Yeah. Even if you have a PhD, you need to go through the trainings that I went through. Someone with PhD and then someone with senior school certificate, they are all the same. Based on qualifications, okay, maybe you might be more qualified than me, not on the job.
But when we get there, we are on the same
level. We are all in
babies.
Yes. So you also go through the same training that we all went through. That's when you have that lancing. And then there's the lancing that is given to you.
Oh, you got a license. She got a license.
Hold it for our cameras because they would like to capture that.
That's the lancing that
she got a license.
So this lancing
just hold it properly because they would like to say, yes, you can.
This lancing is like a driver on the way, driving. You always need to be with this.
Let me see this. This is interesting.
I'm going to hold it before you.
So this lancing, you have your English language proficiency that you do. And those are levels as well. You have level 4, level 5, and level 6. Once you have level 6, you will not do the English language proficiency again. You also go through medicals. You have your medicals and you have the knowledge test. So getting this lancing, like, okay, I cannot say to myself now, I have got the lancing, that's all. That's assigned to you keeping this lancing is the responsibility of you, how to keep this lancing. When it's about to, let's say, you have to renew your, let's say, your medicals. Like for us, because we are less than 40, every 4 years we need to go for our medicals again. So the responsibility of the air traffic controller on how to keep this lancing depends on you. We have the regulatory body that is there, that is in charge of renewing this license.
So it depends, like, for you to be able to get this license, it has to depend it depends on your health state.
Yes.
You have to be healthy.
Yes.
They have to check you all the time to know that you are
every
healthy.
4 years, if you are less than 40, every 4 years.
Ma'am, be living na license plane. Asan daf de jay license. Asan suñ driver daf de jay lu motor license way bi license plane la.
Well, I mean, it's quite, incredible. Your story is quite motivating. Who's your role model?
My role model was my mom. Though she is not educated, but I always see my mom as a role model because she was a full housewife that knows how to take care of the husband and us as well. But unfortunately, today I have my lancing without my 2 parents. I started this journey with my dad. I started working at the airport in 2012 on attachment for 1 year. I was paid $750 as an attaché. But my dad was always there to motivate me, keep pushing, because I am the type. I was advised to go to the university and do this in computer science. I said no. All I wanted to become was a pilot. But when I started attachment, that was when this air traffic control thing came into me. And today I am a proud air traffic controller. So in 2017, shortly before I traveled, a week before I traveled, my dad passed away. And then it was God's doing, though, because I should have been in Ghana. And then I will be called that my dad passed away. But there was a delay for 1 week.
At least you've witnessed.
Yes, at least that delay was in my favor. Not for the death of, but at least I will see my dad before he's buried. He passed away in 2017, April 2015. I went to Ghana that April 30th, and I reached Ghana on 1st May, that's 2017. So when I came back, I was on the training for another 4 years due to circumstances beyond our control, because after that 27, we should have only been on the deck just for 6 months, but this was beyond us. So we went back to Ghana this year, this 2021 in April. When I went to Ghana, I came back. After just a month or 2, my mom passed away again.
Oh, sorry.
So I wish they were alive to see this day today, but unfortunately, it's God's doing.
We are praying for them.
Yes. That's the reality of life. I can imagine how it feels. I mean, we're sorry.
What about how do you cope with your job and your family? I understand you're a family woman.
Yes.
How do you carry this? Do you compromise your family life?
Okay, I am a mother of 2. Like I said, when I started this job, there were no kids. But sometimes, like in the beginning, I would be like, I should have waited until I get my lancing before having a child. But at least with a husband that is understanding, that understands the nature of your job, and then to women that wants to take this air traffic as a career in future, I will advise them. If they are married, fine, let their husband know what it takes to become an air traffic controller. If you are not married, the man that you marry should understand the nature of your job, because 1, you are saving life and properties of people. Doctors save the life of a patient per time, But as an air traffic control, you have the life of, let's say, 300 people on board that aircraft. And they are all on your control. You are the one giving instructions to that aircraft. So safety is something that air traffic controllers don't compromise.
Now I understand why she said for you to get the license, you need to be in a very healthy state of mind.
Thank you. So the stress also, how to balance the stress as an air traffic controller is very important, especially for a woman like me. Because the stress at home, I don't have to bring it to my job. When I'm going to work, when I reach the door, I have to leave everything behind and go there that I know that I am going to do my duty as an air traffic controller. So also, I am at work, I'm giving instructions, commands to people and aircraft. I don't have to take it to my house. If I'm in the house, I have to know how to balance the two. In the beginning, balancing the two was difficult because even like, no matter how your husband is understanding, the job sometimes, it goes into you so much that even you give instructions to people without you realizing. Even sometimes I do have that problem with friends. They'll be like, "Mother, you are very authoritative. You always like giving instructions." I told them, I do this, but sometimes they understand.
Wow, it changes.
Like it's the job, understand? So the balancing the two is something. If you want to go in for it, you need to know how to balance the two. The home is aside, the job is aside. If you are at work, you are an air traffic controller. But once you are home, you are a housewife.
If I don't have a wife like that, I'll be like, baby, don't worry, I'll get a house at the airport for you.
So, I mean, moving forward, what's your next plan? What are you thinking of doing next?
For now, I want to inspire young girls to come in, because if I just get my license and said I have to go and do my master's because I don't have a degree, what will others say that? So I want to serve this nation. As a record breaker, I will still remain as an air traffic controller. Maybe you know this air traffic control thing is an everyday thing. Things are evolving every day, new things are coming. So this is not the end. More trainings are ahead, and I know our authority, GCA, will do something like they will find a way of keeping us because we are just 9 and we are all less than 30. And I think if they see a way of keeping us, we can serve this nation for another 30 years. Yes.
Interesting.
I want to serve this. I want to serve this
If
nation.
a person happens to say, I want to serve my nation, I think they should be considered very well. You know, the motivation part is also very important, Aliu. Most people today, they left certain jobs and they've been, their fees have been paid by the government, and they cannot cope anymore. They have to leave because at the end of the time, motivation was the problem.
Yeah, the motivation is always lacking. Or the issues in a workplace also tend to discourage people to quit and move
but
on to
I'm happy
something
that
else.
The authorities at the airport gave you the opportunity to be where you are today, and we are thanking them for that. Take care of our lady for us, please.
Well, thank you so much, Mariama S. Jallo, for coming on this morning program. I'm really inspired. I'm even thinking of quitting journalism to go and become an air traffic controller.
Be careful.
It's not that very difficult as well. It's just the mind. You just need to know how to, because you do pre-plan. Even if I am at home, if I am the one to cook the next day, you will see them. Tomorrow is her. Mom, understand?
Yeah.
I pre-plan. I do all that is necessary. So make sure that tomorrow when I work, I'll just do my cooking. So that is an air traffic controller. You pre-plan yourself, not just at the spot. Pam, this is this.
Thank you so much, Mariama S. Jallo. Well, viewers, that's Mariama S. Jallo, the Gambia's first female air traffic controller, who had joined us to share with us her journey and what inspires her to become an air traffic controller. You have heard from her quite incredible story. She has really inspired most of us. Like I said, don't be surprised if you hear me quitting this profession to become an air traffic controller. But anyway, Mariama, once again, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you, Aliu.
Well, viewers, we'll go for a short break, and when we return, we'll be joined by our news editor again, Ade Drame, who's on standby to bring us the latest sports news.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information.
Cherry. Join the Gambia's fastest growing network and enjoy high-speed 4G LTE. Dial *335# to subscribe to QCell's 4G LTE service. There's no need to swap your SIM. QCell, Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow. To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're still watching this morning program here on QTV. We're broadcasting from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. I am Aliou Cisse. And just to remind you once again, for all your equipment for water filtering and purifying, don't forget to visit One Stop Water Solution. They are located at the Sukuta Jabang Highway for all the equipment that you need. Well, now joining us in the studio for the latest sports news is our infatigable news editor, Ade Drame. Mr. Drame, good to have you back again.
Great to be back, Aliou. And any eagle-eyed viewers will be saying, hang on, this guy promised next time he came on he will be in tracksuit bottoms. These are not tracksuit bottoms.
You are in jeans today.
Right, I'm in jeans, but don't worry, next time, I promise. I'm going to go out today and buy a whole bunch of tracksuit bottoms. But yes, really excited to mention that the QCell the youth tournament has reached week 5. And that means that we now know the teams that will contest the finals. So let's have a look at this video, and when we come back, we'll go into some of it. But honestly, it's been really, really exciting. Have a look at this video.
Goalkeeper Suleiman Sane. Oh, he concedes! Crazy goalkeeping. That was absolutely abysmal. What was the goalkeeper thinking? Yes, the goal is giving a little bit of confusion. That is bizarre goalkeeping. Suleiman Sane.
There we heard the dulcet tones of our colleague Mamadou Gajaga there. And for those who've been following the tournament over these last 5 weeks, of course, I think part of the beauty of it has been the commentary by, in some cases, Babakar Si, but mostly by our colleague Mamadou Gajaga. And really, I've been following because I've seen some really exciting football, guys. Youth tournament under 15s and under 18s. And so in the under 15s, it's going to be Q City Academy versus Medina. And in the under 18 is Q City Academy again against
Gaifa.
Gaifa.
The Golden Youth Football Academy.
I keep calling it GUIFA, but Gaifa. And again, you know, really exciting semi-finals. And now it's through to the final. So whoever wins is going to carry the trophy. And as I said in the lead up to that, what's really excited me about this was that I kind of had mixed feelings about, oh, you know, can I be bothered to watch a youth tournament? But honestly, the skill level has been really, really high. And I think deservedly, the teams that have now made it to the final are the ones that deserve to get there. I'm very impressed with the level of skills by these very young people. So, you know, much to look forward to in terms of the future of Gambian football, for sure.
Thank you very much. That was my colleague, our news editor, Ade Drame, trying to give us the latest sports news. And in this case, we're looking at the QCell-sponsored Youth Cup. This is the maiden edition. And like he had mentioned, the finals will be between Q City under 15 against Medina under 15. And in the under 18 category, we're having Q City again against the Golden Youth Football Academy of Sokoto. These two finals will be determined, the date for the finals rather will be determined by the organizing committee. Thank you so much, Mr. Adedrame, for giving us this sports update.
Yes.
Bande?
We've come to the end of the program. Until we come here again, Aliu, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ibrahim Balde. On behalf of the production team, the camera department, and everyone behind this production, I was your host, Aliu Sise. I sat in here for Jenaba Sonko. Do join the team tomorrow. Jenaba will be back here with Balde and other guests. Until then, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
bu ne yelloo na ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérugu yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxool ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wérgu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gak granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sell te óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wérgu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Kunda Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu
novelas ni ma gunge ci sama kër gi ba xet ji ne duma toog duma tàyyi man daal de moo koy wëri parfum novelas suñ ko bis ki kër gi xet gi day neex parfum novelas mooy waaja lii mooy parfum novelas parfum bi dafa neex forest bi dafa neex saxaar ba bi dafa neex lii mooy parfum novelas parfum bi dafa neex Almadina boko pompe xet gi day gunguni li mooy parfum novela baxul bi dafa neex brise marine bi ak yëpp a neex
ak novelas féppay xeeñ neex